Welcome back to the Brew Crew podcast, everyone. This is day 6 of the Advent calendar. We are back with Chuggalos Phil.
Yo.
Chuggalos Phil was just telling me about his thoughts on the day 5 beer, which Matt and I did together on the podcast, the long-form podcast. If you want to see that review, it's the second beer on the typical show. What was I calling it? The standard show. That was posted yesterday. That's called 7 People with a Cup. That's the name of that episode. And it was a great episode. Had a lot of fun recording with Matt yesterday. He's obviously out of town, but we did it virtually. But we're back in person.
Yes, we are.
And you had some thoughts on your scores. Before we jump into it, obviously we don't want to go 22 minutes, but we might. You had some thoughts on your scores.
Yeah.
You think there might be some scoreflation going on here?
Could possibly be. I've just looked at it, and as a data-centric and statistician-minded person, I'm recognizing in myself now that there's an unusual clustering up in the high end in my last 5 days. And I'd love to think that it's because we picked such damn good beers this year.
I think that's why. It's because the beer's so good.
I think, I haven't not liked anything, right? But yesterday's was the one that I was most like, yeah, it's good. It's above average, but not great, but not terrible. And so I scored it accordingly. And I was thinking last night all about this. I was like, is that too high? Was I too high?
Well, I didn't like it.
My lowest score, and that was 3.5. And, I think about last year.
That's your lowest score?
And
that's pretty high.
That's my lowest score this year.
Wow.
And that's high. That's not low. So, Phil's kind of reevaluating the Phil scoring system.
It's all right. Don't reevaluate it unjustly. I always give honest scores. You give honest scores. Definitely if the scores seem inflated for any member, I know from watching all the videos, at least the reviews are genuine and authentic.
Yeah.
So scores, it takes some time. Matt and I have been doing this for so long. It takes some time to kind of find your zone.
Yep.
And speaking of that, one, you've gotten already a recommendation to do a How It's Made by Stev. Stev said you should do a How It's Made.
Stev, really?
Yeah.
Awesome. Stev,
I think that was on the 4th
He's my
day.
brother, man. Stev's my brother.
When we were talking about Odekringer, he was like, "Man, this is good content."
Cool.
Here.
Well, it's funny, Stev, that you say that because John and I have been talking about that offline actually a little bit. So I'd love to do that, like maybe a little 5-part series or something.
Do it.
All right. Okay.
It's on. I talked to Matt about it yesterday. Matt's cool with it.
Is he cool with it?
If you want to record yourself, if you want to do edits or post raw, whatever, we'll have. Yep. I don't know if this is exclusive or if we want to wait until it's actually done, but a possibly multi-part series on the technical side of beer.
Yes. How It's Made. You know that great show, How It's Made? My wife is addicted to it. Elena's addicted to it, and she got me kind of addicted to it.
Love it.
It's great.
I watched one on copper piping, which you would never watch unless it was just on.
In a billion years.
And it was amazing. I couldn't believe it. I was addicted.
Right?
They're showing how the pipes are bent and they go through these machines, and it's crazy.
Anyway. How they extrude it, and all that stuff.
It's awesome.
So I'm going to do that. I'm going to do a little How It's Made, and we're going to go through general, end-to-end beer making, general, kind of general 101 stuff, and we're also going to go through some styles, like more popular styles and how those particular styles are made. So it should be fun.
Of course, catered to the non-pretentious beer drinker because people just don't know some of this stuff. And so we can't keep looking at people who don't know I didn't know that ale was top yeast and lager was bottom yeast.
Yeah.
And that seems like something that if I would have went to a brewery, they would have been like, "You don't know that? Get out of here, buddy.
Whatever,
You suck."
whatever. I know these things because it's kind of a curse, but
I think it'll be fun.
I've got brewing experience, and you kind of have to learn that stuff if you're actually doing it, right? And so, but I don't know. I think
it'd be great to have it, even if it's part. We could even start the Brew Crew Network, and you can have your own channel, or we could just attach it to our channel. Yeah. It's kind of up to you. But let's kick this up. Today's beer, day 6, 450 North. If you're a fan of the Brew Crew podcast, you know that the Brew Crew podcast is a huge times 20 fan of 450 North. It's probably in the top 5 breweries that Matt and I both laud. We love them. I've been there. Katie and I went there.
That's right.
In Indiana. It's in Columbus, Indiana. It's in a barn in like the middle of nowhere. Just corn. And then boom, brewery. And this brewery specializes, I think they specialize in sours and Berliner Weiss. They also list hazies as something they specialize in, though I'm more fond of the slushy beers.
The sours, yeah.
The sours. So they have the slushy beers, and they have XL, XXL, and XXXL. The number of X's represents the amount of thickness that beer. So a 3XL is going to be like your puree smoothie sour. Almost like you could hear it being poured, like thumping into the glass. The 2X is going to be a mixture, and the 1X will probably be like a liquid. So that's kind of where we're at. So today's beer is Yacht Squatch. Yacht Squatch number 4. It would have been interesting to have this on day 4.
It would have been.
But we'll get to the count. No. You've made no mistakes in the order of this. I've seen how it's come together, and it's been splendid. But let's crack this open so that we can
do it, man.
Start getting a taste while one of us talks. Ready? 3, 2, 1. Yeah, definitely a quick, no like, because there's like probably no carbonation in here.
No,
I didn't roll it, which was a mistake I always make with 450 North.
Yeah, it's very low.
Very low?
On the carbonation.
Oh yeah, no carbonation practically.
Yep.
Let me grab a paper towel here so it doesn't get all sticky. So Yacht Squatch, this is part of a series of, I don't know, I guess it's the Slushy XXL series, but I've had XXL and I've never seen this series, but this is the 4th beer in that. And when we were at Barrel House, I did see a bunch of these with this type of can art, which we'll talk about. But this is a granola, raspberry, cinnamon, almond, brown sugar, trail mix, and black cherry smoothie sour.
Basically, take everything that's in your cupboard, take it out, throw that in.
Everything delicious.
Yeah, pretty much throw that in there. Granola,
I'm going to try to identify all these flavors.
Trail mix, for God's sake, trail mix. Trail mix in a beer.
Look at that.
Almonds, granola, and almonds. And, that looks beautiful.
Look at that.
And I must say, as I've said in previous, last year, and also in previous podcasts, I've never been a sour fan in my life until I met JT.
That's right.
JT's turned me on to it. There are sours that I really like now, and I already love this one. I already love this one.
I didn't even tell you.
Because of the raspberry. Right, I'm a huge raspberry fan, and I like black cherry too, but right off the bat, I'm loving this already. I was like, and it's not too sweet, and it's not too sour.
Yeah, it's crazy. This beer has an enormous reduction in sweetness from the Girl Scout cookie one we did on day 4. That beer was so sweet that it affected the rating of the beer in a negative way. This beer is unbelievably balanced. Like for what it is.
Oh, much better.
Obviously, when you make a sour, I always approach it from this expectation of like, I need sour. But I'm starting to understand that 450 North is operating on their own wavelength, and they're like, this is it's a sour because of the style. It's a Berliner Weiss, and it's whether it's sour or not, they don't really care. It's the smoothie part that they care about. That's what they're specializing in.
Exactly.
This is a smoothie beer. It's kind of its own class.
It's a smoothie. That's what it is. It's not really a sour at all.
Yeah.
It's got the thickness and the texture and the flavors of a smoothie. It's how I would make a smoothie,
it really
actually.
Does.
Throw all that same crap in a blender and fire it up, and SFIL's a happy guy in the morning.
SFIL's a happy guy.
I'd be happy in the morning with this, but I probably wouldn't be very productive.
So this is 5.4%, 5.3% alcohol. Can't even taste it. I think I'll go first. Here is the Can Art Boner segment. It is brought to you by both Barrel House, because it is a advent calendar, and the most recent donation to the Brew Crew podcast comes from Chuggalo Todd, who is Matt's Phil.
Really?
Matt's father-in-law.
Ah.
Chuggalo Todd, but he gets his name used, unlike you, who is Phil. But I think that is a good pseudonym. Calling someone Phil is confusing. Unless their name's Phil.
That's right.
But a SFIL, that's a very...
SFIL?
It's an identifier for you.
SFIL sounds Scandinavian. And I am. I have Danish in my blood. My grandma was an Olsen.
Oh.
So there you go. I have some Norse. A little Viking in me.
Oh, wow.
Maybe that come by that honestly. So SFIL kind of sounds like.
Yeah, it kind of does.
Nordic.
So the can art, there is a, what I would describe as an NFT type picture here. When the NFTs of like the drafts were going around, this kind of resembles that. It is, dare I say, I don't know if this is a human or not. Kind of looks like maybe something in like the ape.
Planet of the Apes kind of a thing?
Yeah, Planet of the Apes, like family. He's wearing like square aviators.
Yeah.
And a pilot's hat or a captain's hat from the Navy. Or from a, like a yacht. Not the Navy, from a yacht. And he's wearing kind of a yachting suit, or maybe a leisure suit of some sort. And that's it. It's blue, and it's on like a Pokemon card kind of thing. Where
I get it.
It's kind of just...
He's a Sasquatch.
He's a Sasquatch. Man, how did I miss that?
Holy I just got it.
Sasquatch.
Man, folks, we haven't even drank.
I can't believe I missed that.
Me too. I was just like, that is so weird. He's like furry up through his neck. What? And then I was like, oh, Squatch. We got it.
So, and he's on this card.
Slow, day 6.
And then there's a little, like, jack-o'-lantern looking slushy thing there. I'm not sure what that is. BMSC. What does that stand for? I don't know if there's a collaboration here. BMSC. What could that mean? I don't know.
Big man on Sasquatch. Something.
I'm not sure.
We just don't know.
Anyway.
Some of these things are mysteries, and they're meant to be mysteries. They're mysteries.
So that's the Can Burner Sticking brought to you by Chuggalo, Todd, and Barrel House. Thanks, guys. That's amazing. So look at this thing. This is just coating the glass. This will take about 3.5 hours to clean.
I know. Look at this. It's pulp. It's got
pulp
on the inside.
That is it's classic 450. Now I would say that I think that Matt and I have established that 450 kind of operates so well on its own that their rating scale is kind of like we have to rate their beers against only their other beers, because rating something this unique against other beers, it's like, how can you do it? Because they're all going to be really high scores.
Yep.
But you have to say, okay, well, what's 450 North's best beer, and how does this rank with that? Well, I know that they had one. I think it was like a Yeti or something. It had marshmallows in it. It was so freaking good, but it was so thick. I couldn't drink the whole thing. I was full by the end of it. That was a very good beer. This one is also very good. I think the ingredients list is a quite ambitious list.
It's crazy.
And even as someone who, I do pride myself in my ability to pick out flavors. I even did it with wine. When you gave me wine that one time, and I don't drink wine, and I was like, oh, let me see the flavors here. And I don't know if I was right. He told me I was right.
Yep.
I probably was wrong. He was probably just...
No. Yeah, I was proud of you. For a novice who hasn't done it, I was really surprised and proud of you for being able to pick that out.
Well, thanks. But I cannot pick out all of the flavors in here. I feel like the overarching flavor that I'm tasting here is Greek yogurt, and that's not one of the things listed here. Because when I eat a Greek yogurt with fruit in it, this is kind of that's kind of the feeling I get on the tongue, on the back end, even on the breath out. It's just there's a creaminess to it that doesn't really appear on here anywhere. Trail mix, I don't think I'm getting trail mix. Black cherry, I could maybe see getting black cherry. I don't get any cinnamon. The granola is the thing I'm probably the most disappointed in, because we've had granola beer, or beer with granola flavor, and it's come out. It's been prevalent. This, not so much. So I think raspberry, yes. black cherry maybe, and then there's a creaminess to it, which is where I think everything else is kind of mixed in. The cinnamon, I think that would stick out more.
It's very subtle. The cinnamon's subtle. So is the almonds. The almonds are subtle. You get a little bit of the almonds in the mid palate right before the finish.
Maybe almonds. Maybe on the breath.
And I'm tasting the granola there too. I taste granola and a little almonds. Just the only thing I taste in the almonds is the fragrance that you have with almonds. Just a little bit of
that's what I'm at. Maybe on the breath out.
Yeah, like the almond extract that you get and you see used in like Christmas cookies or whatever. You just get a little bit of fragrance right there. And cinnamon, same, it's very subtle. Trail mix, black cherry is one of the most subtle, I think, of the flavors. I get a little bit of right up front in the nose right before I even start drinking. I get a little whiff of black cherry before it gets smothered by raspberry.
Yeah.
And then but you know what's incredible about this thing? After you swallow it, you get the beautiful sense of how the whole thing, it meshes together. And they've done a beautiful job of that. Mm-hmm. You can almost pick out all the flavors. It's like listening to a really good stereo system, and you can hear all the different parts of the orchestra playing, and yet it sounds beautiful together. Yet you can pick out the individual instruments if you really listen, because that's the way the music's laid down. I think this is really a well-made beer. What, do you even call it a beer?
Sure
is it real beer?
It's a beer. I'm sure it's well-made, because that's what 450 does. We have high expectations for them. Now I don't have that high-end stereo feeling. I can't pick out all the flavors, but I do. And I get this just this like unavoidable taste of yogurt. One thing that makes me absolutely disgusted is Go-Gurt. I can't stand Go-Gurt, and this feels like Go-Gurt to me. Like, it's not thick enough to be Go-Gurt, but it gives me that like cold, drinkable yogurt. Or what's that, kefir stuff? I can't stand that stuff.
That stuff's gnarly.
But I do like the taste of the beer. The taste is good. The feeling it gives me, I don't like. I think that this is probably one of the lower end beers that 450 North has given, but I don't get all the same tastes that Chuggalos Phil does. I give this beer, just based on its muted flavors, I'm giving this beer a 3.0. It hurts to give it a 3.0 because I don't see myself reaching for this again. It's too forgettable.
Wow.
And all these flavors sound amazing.
Yeah.
They're in there. I don't get it.
They're in there.
Trail mix is more of a texture for me anyway. Like the raisins and the M&Ms and the peanuts, that type of trail mix, I don't know if that's the type of trail mix they're talking about because there's a million different kinds.
Right.
But that specific one,
I would assume.
Those textures are perfect together. And it almost always comes out as like, it's just, you can taste the chocolate, the raisin, and the peanut separately and together.
Yep.
But you can't get that texture here.
No.
There's no way.
No, it's very subtle to the point of being lost.
It's lost. I think it's lost.
You get the flavor. You know how granola always has that's very specific flavor. It's kind of a vanilla-y. Mm-hmm. I don't know how to describe it. It's got a real specific, unique flavor to it. It's the honey that's in it. They used to stick the globules together, and it's a little vanilla or something they put in there. I'm tasting that.
Granola is amazing.
It is amazing. I love granola to this day. But this is the kitchen sink, man. Mm-hmm. This is the whole refrigerator and the kitchen sink. Throw it in there, hit the blender, then ferment it for a month or two. Then you have Yacht Squatch.
Yeah, Yacht Squatch.
I caution. I just would say, just for me personally, I hear what you're saying, and so you're rating it on its own scale. But then if you look at a 3.0, 450, and you've rated something else as a 3.25, and you compare because, it's just kind of a Joe average, stout or something like that. This beer still shines above that one, so it's kind of hard it's not doing justice to 450 if you rate the beer lower because you're rating it on its own scale versus what the other ones are. So I kind of wrestle with that a little bit.
But most beers aren't like this, and
That's true.
They're all in between like 4.5 and 5, and that's where it starts to be like, well, this is ridiculous. They can't all be 5s. Like I know they can.
Yeah.
But they also can't. They can't be that.
We might, or I say we, Barrel House might just be damn good pickers.
Yeah.
Well, I'll say this about this. I'm going to rate this differently than you because I don't drink sours every day, and I don't like sours every day. And it's a few sours that I've tasted that I really, really like, and I always comment to John, wow, I never would have tasted that before meeting him. And even after I've met him and tasted them, I don't like all of them. This I really like, but and for different reasons. It doesn't taste. It's not really like a sour to me. It's kind of in its own category, like the smoothie beer that we talked about, right?
Yeah.
So I'm going to give it a much higher score.
Excellent.
Because I like it. It's unique. There's no other beer in our list, I guarantee, that's like this. Nothing's going to come close to this. I mean, in terms of style and texture and all that stuff.
That's true.
I really
Maybe
like
tripping animals.
I would say, gosh, I'm between a 3.75 and a 4. I like it that much. I would definitely drink it again.
I felt like you were going to be higher than that.
Really?
Yeah, but I like that. I like that.
I'm not. It's not a daily drinker.
Yeah,
it's not one of those that I'm going to race out to, the corner store and go get some more. I may, but if I had a 6 of this in my fridge, it would last a long, long time.
Oh yeah, because it's hard to drink.
Right.
But I would get the other variants of this. There's obviously at least 3.
Right.
Maybe others.
Right, the XL and the X.
Try those.
Yeah.
Oh no, I mean like the number 1, 2, 3 of the series.
Yeah.
I don't know what they are. I should look it up.
So I'm going to go with 4.
You got a 4.
I've got a 4. I'm sticking to it, and for all those reasons, it's just a really unique, different animal, different beast. We kind of like that here. Mm-hmm. We kind of dig that.
We certainly do. That's the best. That's what you want. You want to try beers that are unique.
You know, it's the Advent calendar, right? The every day is a surprise and a gift. It's like when you're a kid going under the tree and you're pulling out a present. You don't know if that's going to be, the G.I. Joe or it's going to be, some board game, right? You like both of them probably, but they're special because they're different, and it's kind of hard to rate a G.I. Joe against a board game or a whirlybird, vertibird, whatever that thing was called when I was growing up. So I don't know where I'm going with this. I'm just saying that, compared to the other beers we drank, this is so unique.
It is.
And in a good way, to me,
that
I'm going to give it a 4.
That's excellent. 450 as a brewery is definitely like a 6 out of 5. As a brewery. It's a total winner every time. They're awesome over there. Wow. That's it. That's day 6. I don't know how long this video is going to be. It doesn't matter because it was fun to shoot, fun to drink, fun to be around. Yep. This is Yacht Squatch, day 6. Join us tomorrow for day 7. Check out all the other videos that are popping up on YouTube. We got more subscribers. We're up to 76 now.
Awesome.
And if you're watching this in 2030 when we got like millions of followers, well, this was the good old days.
That's right. The
they weren't good. Now they're much better with 1 million followers. Yeah. That's it. Yeah. Day 6.
Awesome. Take care, Chuggalos.